It was brought to our attention that today is called Blue Monday because a lot of people are post-holiday, post-New Year's resolutions that haven't really stuck. Maybe those credit card bills are coming in. You're assessing your financial goals for 2016. So we wanted to talk to the money therapist. Her name is Holly Signorelli, and she joins us live on the Rodney Anderson Show.
Good morning, Holly.
Hello. Hi, how are you?
We're doing fantastic. Holly also wrote the book, Do You Know Where Your Money Is?
Mm-mm.
Most people have no clue.
No clue.
My book would be short. I
Probably
would say no.
95%.
Yeah, and he's in that 95%.
That's me.
Well, one of the things that happens is, let's first get to the money part, okay? Forget about the most depressing day. Where is people's money, Holly, in your book? What do you?
Well, my book is about the 9 emotions that people of all income levels have. And when it pertains to the subject that we're talking about today, there's a lot of credit card debt out there. In fact, if I can remember the exact dollar amount, it was something like $68 billion of new credit card debt last year. New credit cards, not total. And, last year was a pretty good year for the economy. I know some people would disagree with that in certain areas, but overall, I've seen people making significantly more money, especially here in Texas, and still going out and putting more stuff on their credit cards. So people have a lot of remorse and regret and guilt, and these emotions that cause them to stay in credit card debt. So stay with me here. I know it doesn't make sense, but people kind of have a self-sabotaging mechanism inside of them. So when they've been paying off credit card debt for a long time, in a subliminal way, it becomes part of them. They're not conscious of it. So then when they get out of debt, they get right back into it. And we all know people who have done that, right?
Absolutely.
Raising my hand.
And it's kind of funny because there's over $1 trillion now in credit card debt. And people, according to a new survey, people underestimated the amount of credit card debt that they individually had by 155%. And that they underestimated how much credit card debt they had by $415 billion.
Yeah, and they're just not aware of it because that's why I wrote the book, because being a CPA for 26 years and dealing with business owners and individuals, I was really astounded by how much people were getting more in credit card debt when the economy started to turn around. So I called it a spending starvation, that people were really hurting after the 2008 situation with the housing market. And then when they started making money again, they were like, oh my God, I got to go out and get everything I couldn't have, So it's the same analogy of when you go on a diet and you starve yourself and then you pig out on whatever you want to eat, right? I mean, that's what we all do. It's human nature. But it's the same with spending, and that's why you need to be balanced about doing something nice for yourself, but in proportion, and paying off your credit card debt at the same time. So when people go in and they're going to, get rid of this credit card debt and they're putting everything on there and they're not doing anything for themselves, then they end up overdoing for themselves.
Yeah, and if you go to Target, did you know that you can? It says on there that you could charge it on one card or two cards.
Yes, they ask you, do you want to put it all on this card?
Yeah, or do you want to split it up? It's crazy out there.
Assuming everybody doesn't want to put it on one card.
Holly, a lot of people have New Year's resolutions or New Year's goals for financial goals and all that. How many people really keep with those goals? Do you see where people just, it's January 18th. People have already just failed in that area.
Yeah, I do think that, again, it just comes back to balancing it. When you find yourself in credit card debt or you have a line of credit or whatever your situation is financially, it's really, balance is the most important word that I could use, because you need to save and you need to pay your credit card debt. You need to do something nice for yourself every week. It doesn't have to be huge. You just need to do something so you don't feel like you're getting up and going to work just to pay your debt. So you want to be balanced in that way, and hopefully even giving, even if you have credit card debt, even when you just give $25 monthly to a charity that means a lot to you, you're going to feel good. And when people feel good, it's easier to stay on their resolutions. If they are out of balance and they're still creating credit card debt, again, those emotions of like guilt, and people beat themselves up. And when you beat yourself up emotionally, it doesn't make it easy for you to stay with your resolutions. I've did quite a few videos and interviews on this in the beginning of January. Like, let's make this year be different. Let's stop feeling guilty and stop feeling bad and just say, let's do something different. Let's change the conversation. Let's save. Every time you get a paycheck, put some in savings, put some against your credit card. Do something nice for yourself, again, in proportion, and feel balanced about what you're doing and feel good about what you're doing, because when you see your bank account going up and your credit card going down, you're going to feel really, really good. And it only takes 2 or 3 months to get to that place where you're very motivated to put more on the credit card because you're seeing a result.
Yeah, we see a lot of people in our business. We're doing a lot of cash out refinances for people that are getting out of debt, paying off their credit cards, putting them on 10 or 15-year fixed rate mortgages to build their credit card debts back. But I just don't understand how people think it's okay to charge and pay 19 or 25 or 29%, Holly, on many of these credit cards. You're never going to get out of that debt any way possible. There's no way.
Yeah, particularly with the millennials, because these credit cards are sending them applications, and the credit card companies don't even check the income. So some of these kids in their 20s, and along with student loan debt, are having credit card debt that they shouldn't even have qualified for. I remember being in college and having like $1,000 worth of debt, and I thought the world was over, Yeah. But these kids are getting like $10,000, and of course, some time's gone by. We're talking 20 years ago, but still, like, they shouldn't even be able to have 10 or 15,000 of available credit when they're only making 15 or 20,000 a year to begin with.
Yeah, before you walk into the bookstore, you got a free T-shirt and a $10,000 credit card.
And no idea of how you're going to manage that.
And you're charging beer for everybody. You're paying for everybody's beer
Was that
college.
you? Was that you, Rodney?
No, I dropped out of college after 6 months. That's why I didn't want to have a lot of freeloaders.
See, Holly, we all have our stories of debt and alike, and I think there's a huge stigma attached to credit card debt rather than any other debt that there is, and we guilt ourselves, we shame ourselves, and that person, I think, if they just associate themselves with I'm not good at finances and they have that guilt and shame, it's going to be real easy, like you said, for them to continue that cycle and not get out of it.
Yeah, we had a lady the other day, Holly, that had $138,000 in credit card debt. That's not the most I've seen, but this lady owed like $17,700 to Target and $9,600 to Macy's and $7,000 or $8,000 to Sam's Club. You have a spending problem and you need a therapist, a money therapist, or they need your book when you're sitting there and you have that kind of debt out there, because psychologically, how the hell do you spend $17,000 at Target?
It's an impulse buy. That's what I call instant gratification. That's chapter 2 in the book, because things that have no intrinsic value, they're just a spontaneous purchase. A lot of times it's right when you're checking out, too. Those little things that don't cost a lot, but then they add up to thousands of dollars, because it's like $5. Like my thing used to be the trash magazine. I would get like all of them, and they all had the exact same material in it, right? Because photographers sell it to all the magazines, and I was like, why am I buying this? I don't even enjoy reading about it anymore. It's so dramatic. So those kind of things that really, people always think it's big numbers, but it's the little numbers that actually turn into big numbers that people forget about.
Yeah, I think it's and being a depressing day that's out there, it's beautiful outside today. It's supposed to be depressing. I mean, I don't know. I'm not depressed. You depressed, Abe?
I'm not depressed at all.
Rob, you depressed?
Just for the sake of the day. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say
yeah. Holly, you depressed today?
Devil's
No,
advocate.
not at all.
Okay, so see.
Because I don't beat myself up.
So you guys aren't celebrating today?
And fix it.
Well, we're celebrating today.
We're
but
celebratory for Martin. What is happening?
Celebrating Blue Monday? Not the only blue one here?
No.
Oh,
I'm
man.
celebrating MLK Day, sir. I'm sorry you forgot the most important reason of today.
Oh, man, on a Blue Monday,
Right.
too.
On a Blue Monday. But I really want to bring it back to the fact that if you see yourself as someone with shame and guilt and regret when it comes to your spending habits, Holly, I think that is a very hard emotional cycle, because there's a huge emotional attachment when it comes to money, whether you have it or not. It's something we think about every single day, and it is very, very emotional and dictates really how you govern your whole life, from parenting to shopping to spending time with your family to your personal relationships. It can wreak havoc or bring joy.
Yeah, not what I want people to do is go pick up her book, Do You Know Where Your Money Is? She talked about the psychology of money, and a lot of times you have to sit there and go, that's me. That's me. Do something to fix it today. Not just talk about it. Do something that's going to fix your money situation and all that. Holly, we want to thank you for being on the show today.
Absolutely.
All
Have
right.
a great week.
Yeah, you bet.
Bye-bye.
We'll have you back soon. Thank you.
TheMoneyTherapist.com.
All right. We come back. The 5 words you should never say to your